Hello and welcome. Today we are talking about how to use artificial intelligence to check for research integrity. We are going to use a published paper and ChatGPT to demonstrate one integrity test. I am Professor Khalid Khan from University of Granada in Spain, and I'm just now in Cairo, Egypt, where I have with me Dr. Moaz. Moaz, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, it's Moaz Bulmagd. I'm an intern at Cairo University Hospitals from Egypt, and I've been spending some time with Professor Khalid, and we have been working on this project, and we thought, why not make a video together?
All right, thank you, Moaz. So, what we wish to do is to show you the ChatGPT thinking model, how to upload the paper or the relevant content on which a prompt concerning an integrity test will be applied. The test we will use is called the GRIM test, and then we'll talk about the interpretation of the output. So, Moaz, can you just please briefly tell us about the background to the paper we have selected?
Well, this paper was published in the Supportive Care in Cancer Journal. This paper, the authors did examine whether a relaxation program or an intervention would affect the self-esteem of patients with cancer. Later in this same year, the paper has received was called a comment on Copier. Copier is a website where people put comments on papers after they are published. The author raised some concerns about the validity of numbers reported in this study, and these are some of the concerns that the author have highlighted here. These concerns were raised. These concerns were raised by using the test called a Graham test.
All right. So, GRIM test is the one that we want to demonstrate to you. And here we have prepared for you a brief description of the test before we demonstrate its application on ChatGPT. So, Moaz, could you explain what this test is?
Well, the Graham test is a basic ma- the Graham test is a basic mathematical check for reported averages in a study. We all know that the average equals the total divided by the number of people or the number of patients.
Okay, so the whole number and the total score, the relationship between these is what is studied in the GRIM test, isn't it?
Yes, Professor Khalid. When scores are whole numbers, the total score must also be a whole number. The Graham test states a basic fact, which is if there is no possible way that the reported averages can be derived from a whole number, then these averages does not exist or do not exist.
So, can you take us through an example, Moaz?
So let's imagine a study with 10 participants where the authors have measured the pain of these participants on a scale from 1 to 10. The scale must be whole numbers or what we call an integer. It should not have any decimals. After they published their paper, we read in their paper that the reported pain average was 7.13 points. However, after applying our test, we found that there is no possible way that can make this average of 7.13 come from a sample of 10 people, even when we consider rounding. So let's see how this happens. If we multiplied 7.13 by 10, which is the number of people, to try and derive the total this average came from, we get an unwhole number. If we even consider rounding upward and the original number was the extreme case of 7.125 and multiplied by 10, we also get an unwhole number. If we also considered another extreme, if we also consider another extreme value and rounding downward from 7.135 multiplied by 10, we also get a non-whole number. This simple explanation of Graham test will show you that there is no possible way that this average is real. A Graham failure means that there is definitely a serious data error.
But what happens if we pass the GRIM test?
Well, this is a good news, but it doesn't mean that a study is very valid. There are many more tests that we can apply and still find a problem with the data.
These definitely we will show you in other videos in the future. So now let's turn to application of the Grimm test via ChatGPT, what we wish to do is reproduce this analysis for you via the command structure that Moaz has implemented just a moment ago. Moaz, can you take us through it?
Okay, this test is we start with constructing a prompt. Our prompt is already developed, and then we copy the tables from the reported study and we add them to the prompt. Then we ask ChatGPT to run the test for us.
So it's important that ChatGPT is running in the thinking mode. Why is that, Moaz?
Well, the thinking model is one of the best models of ChatGPT because you are limited by what is called tokens in AI models. So you have to give it enough tokens and enough and use the best model they have to derive a consistent and accurate numbers. Because as we have tried before with Professor Khalid, when we use the more simpler model of instant ChatGPT, it gave us wrong numbers.
And in the prompt, what are the key features that you highlight?
The prompt must be engineered. It must include your role to make ChatGPT feel like he is an experienced forensic esthetician. And we can also have all the assumptions, as all of these tests have some assumptions, and it can also it should also have the used equations for this test.
So these equations, where can people find them?
Well, some of these equations are available online, but we people may find them hard to find. So me and Dr. Khalid, we are writing a chapter that will be published hopefully soon on this Graham test and other tests, and we will detail each equation and their assumptions and how they could be used in actual practice.
So while we see on the screen that ChatGPT is functioning, what is it doing in the background?
Well, it's applying the equation to each outcome in the study and categorizing the studies either consistent and inconsistent. Inconsistent, which means that the Graham test failed and these numbers cannot be possibly exist. As you can see right here, many of these outcomes that are inconsistent are already highlighted in the paper in the comment in the lower half of the presentation.
So here we have the bottom line, the quick summary, and the one sentence conclusion from ChatGPT. Could you just tell us what that gives us?
Well, in this example, we had 20 cells or 20 unique means, and 55% of them were inconsistent with the Graham test. This is very highly not possible. We don't have a definitive cutoff point for Graham test, but we can in the future have some of them. But we now have an imperative, but we now have a simple understanding that there may be some serious problems with this data, and we have to implement other tests and other tools to have a collective report of the integrity of this paper.
So within 2 minutes, ChatGPT was able to tell us that the reported result is impossible based on the methods and numbers described.
And without a mathematician, no statistician or mathematician was involved, only that the prompt was available for ChatGPT.
Okay, so on this basis, obviously the journal then decided to retract the paper, and the retraction notice explained that there were many errors and that the editor in chief no longer had confidence in the presented data. So the paper was retracted. However, this situation could have been avoided had the journal or the peer reviewer or the editor applied this simple 2 minute ChatGPT test at the time of its assessment before publication, isn't it?
Yes, of course. And many of these tests are not applied in routine streaming and routine live plagiarism, but they may be applied in the future.
All right. So we are making correction of the record by retracting the article. What implication does this have for the authors?
Okay, I will leave it for you, Professor Khalid.
All right, thank you. So here we can see that obviously this paper will now be marked against the name of the authors as a retracted paper. And the reason for retraction can be seen by those who wish to assess the competence of their work. But also, it tells us something about the journal and the publication process, where I think in the future, just as plagiarism checks have been automatically implemented over the last 15 to 20 years, automated checks of basic statistics will also be implemented in the foreseeable near future in journal publication assessment process. Moaz, do you have any final advice or comment for researchers or readers of papers?
I advise every researcher to, of course, check integrity of their paper or the paper of their colleagues if they are working with some group that they don't know. And also, I encourage further researchers to check the integrity of published research because there's a lot of work to do and there's a lot of things to learn in this topic.
All right, Moaz, thank you very much for demonstrating how ChatGPT can be used to evaluate integrity based on a simple test.
Thank you, Professor Khalid.